what you need when you're cooking pasta is 8 minutes, or spaghetti anyway, 8 minutes, because that's another point where people go wrong, is they cook it far too long. On lots of packets it says 15, even up to 20 minutes I've seen it. And it really isn't very nice if it's overcooked and soggy. Now what the Italians describe perfectly cooked pasta, the words they use are al dente, and that means to the teeth, or what I would call having some bite to it. And for spaghetti, 8 minutes gives you just that amount of bite. If you're cooking thicker strips of pasta, then you might need to give it a minute or two more. But 8 minutes is about right, so just watch the time carefully. Another thing is, no need to put the lid on the pan. Providing the pasta is submerged under the water, you have no need to put the lid on, because otherwise with all that water it'll just boil over, and although spaghetti is very quick to cook, you could be spending quite a long time cleaning the top of the cooker afterwards. Well, we've got some over here, and I've been timing that for 8 minutes, but it's not quite ready yet, so I'm just going to have a word about Bolognese sauce. And this has been cooking away here, and this is a proper homemade Bolognese sauce. It's made with onions, garlic, finely minced beef, finely minced chicken livers, tomatoes, and basil. And I hope you notice that it's nice and thick. And that is the secret of a good Bolognese sauce. It's got to be really thick to really coat the spaghetti and give it lots of flavour. Sometimes in restaurants you get spaghetti served up with something like oxtail soup and mince in it, and it's really rather nasty. So I'm glad to be able to show you the right sort of texture of a good Bolognese sauce. Well now, this has had its 8 minutes, just about now. So what we're going to do now is drain it and have a colander ready, waiting in the sink, and then just take the spaghetti over, turn the heat out, take it over to the sink, and then just pour the water into the colander. And as you pour the water in, you'll find that the colander will get nicely heated through. Then in goes the spaghetti. Take the colander out and put it back on the saucepan, and then all the final drainings will drip through into the saucepan beneath and provide a little bit of steam which keeps it hot. And that's a very important point. When you're serving spaghetti, you must keep it nice and hot. And that's why I'm going over to the oven now to get some hot plates out. There's nothing worse than eating spaghetti that's got sort of tepid. And now I want to show you how to dish it up, because when I first started I got in a muddle. So what you do is you just give it a little bit of a mix like that, and then to serve it you lift it up very, very high. That's the secret. If you lift it high, it goes straight over to the plate neatly and you don't have any problems. And where people go wrong is they get hold of it like this and they try to get it out of the colander onto the plate like that, and then they have to run and get the dressmaking scissors or something to cut it all to serve it. So high onto the plate, and if you've got some odd bits left in the colander, just get those out with a spoon. There we are, we've got one little escape bit there. Next we need the sauce. Just spoon the sauce over. Next thing you need is some grated Parmesan cheese, and I thought I'd just show you this because if you have got a specialised food shop or an Italian shop in your area and you can get Parmesan cheese in its natural state and grate it yourself, it does make a tremendous difference. But I warn you, that is quite hard to get hold of. So, plenty of freshly grated Parmesan cheese all over, and you can put a bit more on later. And if you're like me, you'll want a good twist of pepper as well. And now I want to show you how to eat spaghetti, because I've seen a lot of people in a lot of restaurants get into a muddle. So what you first of all do is take a spoon and a fork, or just a fork, and mix it. And now you can see why it's important to have a nice thick sauce so that the spaghetti gets perfectly coated. And it's good to take all those precautions, because as you can see it's still nice and hot. Now this is where people go wrong. You can use a spoon and fork or just a fork, but what they do is they dig the fork in like that, lift it up, and then they start to twist, and of course they get into a frightful old muddle, and who wouldn't? So what's the best thing to do is to take a few strands, not too many, lift them up and then take them to the edge of the plate, twist the fork round on the plate, or you can do this on a spoon, and then lift it up so that you've got a bite-sized piece like that. And don't worry if you've got a couple of little strands like that hanging down, because Italians always eat spaghetti with their napkins tucked into their chins.